Okay, so morning routines. And I know before you start rolling your eyes, I know that morning routines have been shone on a bad light, especially with the GIMP influencers and the life coaches on social media that preach unrealistic morning routines that the normal person has no time for. So, in this video, I want to give you an anti-bullshit guide to starting your own morning routine that you can implement with very little time. So, why are morning routines important? Well, before I left the military, I was not a morning guy. I used to leave it danger close, get up when my alarm was fucking ringing in my ear. I'd snooze all the time. I'd feel like shit. And then that would snowball into me having a shit day. I'm pretty sure most of you can relate to this because most of the clients that come to me, they're exactly the same. And one of the benefits of actually having a morning routine, it de-stresses you and it allows you to almost build yourself a resilience armor for the shit show that is about to ensue in the day. So let's have a look at the strategy. Now, before I get in, I want to share something with you because this will probably resonate for most of you. Now, most people start off the morning just like I did. You snooze, you procrastinate, you doom scroll, and then you're in a bad mindset. And it's basically like you feel like telling today to fuck off. You end up being late for work, caught in traffic, and you're just in this horrible mindset that just, like I said before, snowballs. And then when you get into work or life takes over, it's just a fucking shitstorm. Negativity after negativity, fastball after fastball. And throughout the day, your energy, both emotional, psychological, and physically, gets sapped. And then at the end of the day, you're that fucked. You binge watch Netflix, you doom scroll a little bit, you don't sleep as much as you should do. And then the whole cycle repeats itself. Just for my own sort of research, let me know in the comments if you're a morning person or not. It would be cool to know. Now, the first step for an anti-bullshit guide to starting your own morning routine is get up early. This is something that I've implemented and I feel so much better for. Yes, it takes a little bit of time to get used to, but this isn't about being a hero. And I've seen so many times on like YouTube and TikTok and Instagram of certain influencers getting up at like 2:30 and bragging about it. You're just a fucking idiot, right? Just because I'm telling you to get up early doesn't mean that you sacrifice sleep. And sleep is a huge, huge barrier for most of you. Not just the quantity of sleep, but also the quality. I am not about this hustle culture that gives me 3 hours sleep at night. And this is something that I have really digged in deep to since I've left the military, is the quality and quantity of my sleep. Because I know, especially with the research, that good sleep fixes more than you think. If you're constantly stressed, if you've got no energy, the first thing I'm going to ask you is, what's your sleep like? And quite a few of my clients come to me saying, oh yeah, I'm just not a sleeper. That's bullshit. That's a limiting belief. Because at the end of the program, funnily enough, they turn into sleepers, not because they're boring, but because they feel so much better about it. Now, you don't need 9 hours sleep. I personally get around about 6.5 hours to 7 hours sleep, and that's my sweet spot. And it might be yours too. The real trick is getting consistent. And yes, I know this sounds boring as fuck, but if you want to feel better, if you want better mental health, if you want more vigor, guess what? You're going to have to pay the price with something. And that means potentially getting more sleep. Go to bed at the same time, get up at the same time. Do not trade Netflix for progress. Your energy should come from rest, not having a copious amount of supply through the day of caffeine. Super important. Next, know your target, know your mission, your goal, your animal to hunt. Don't copy Elon Musk's routine. Design yours, because you are different from the person that you follow on social media. You're different from me. You have different goals, ambitions, visions, and purpose. If you want to build consistency, or as most people like to call it, discipline, make your wake up times a non-negotiable. And a non-negotiable for me and my clients is like a list of commandments that you follow, that's embedded into you and your values. If you want to lose fat, it's a good idea to have some movement in there. If you can't have movement outside of your morning routine or throughout the day or when you finish work, your routine should match your goals, not someone else's on an Instagram post. Anchor it on purpose, and your routine, your morning routine and your nighttime routine becomes a strategy, not a chore. I see so many people do things that don't push them closer to their mission. Most of the time, people don't even fucking set missions in the first place. So why would you do something if you haven't got a journey, if you haven't got somewhere to go, A to B? There's no point doing things for the sake of it because someone else values it or someone else thinks it's a good idea. Number 3, big one, especially for the ex-military. Consistency will always trump intensity. I see this so many times, especially with people going on some sort of hardcore body transformation program. They'll go straight to 10, balls deep for 12 weeks, doing some unrealistic routine that sees them being in the gym twice a day, eating chicken, broccoli and rice. And because we're strong-headed, strong-willed, we'll do it. But then afterwards, because it's been so much of a shit show and a stress on your body and your lifestyle, you fall off. There's no point doing things if you can't see yourself doing it for the foreseeable future. Easy for you to say. You don't need to meditate for 2 hours. Start with 5 minutes, then 6, then 10, then build it up. Same for your fitness, same for your journaling. Same for anything else that you want to master. There's a lot of all or nothing mindset that goes on in the personal development space, where you think you need to be perfect, that if you're not thrashing yourself for 2 hours, that it's not an effective workout. If you can just make a change and a decision to be better than you were yesterday, even by 1%, that 1% is going to compound over a year. And that's where you get results. Because your situation right now, wherever you are, whether it's, bad mindset, overweight, energy, it's not taking you 12 weeks to get here. It's taking you a long, long time. So don't be so naive to think that you can just do a 12-week quick transformation progress and everything will be fixed. Don't give in to boredom is my next step to my strategy. Modern life is built for distraction. And remember, distraction is not a disease, it's a decision. So when your routine feels stale, your brain will start searching for that dopamine hit somewhere else. The fix? Keep it fresh. For example, meditating. One day you might try a guided meditation. Do that for an X amount of time. And then when it starts to become stale, move to an unguided meditation or a different kind of meditation. Training. Swap the gym for a hike or a home workout or a different way of attacking the same goal. The key is keep the container, but mix the content, because there are always different strategies to get to the same place. Now, obviously, when it comes to building muscle, we need a bit of repetitive, progressive overload. But a chest press is a chest press, whether it's on a machine or dumbbell press. Targets the same muscle. Without going too much specifically into training protocols on this one. 5, accountability. Everyone thinks that motivation, discipline, even though I fucking hate that word, consistency is like a gene that some people have, like it's a switch. That's bullshit. Okay? Whatever you want to call it, discipline, consistency, motivation, it's trained over time. And accountability is a shortcut to get there faster. Because most people can't trust themselves. So some of the ways that you can breed accountability into your day without hiring a coach, this is not a marketing interjection here. You have free Facebook groups. You can get a battle buddy. You can join free challenges. You can have apps that bring your friends together and you can go after a certain challenge. Even just posting on Facebook, which I saw a lot of people do in January. They were posting, trying to be influencers, new year, new me, and then 6 weeks later, they're falling off. Over time, you build the muscle of consistency. But until then, just borrow it. Last one. And this I stole off one of our mentors called Peter Sage. BDSM. And no, I'm not talking about the kinky side of what you get up into the bedroom. Don't wait to celebrate until you hit the big goal. So BDSM, what I'm talking about is broken down smaller milestones. Because here's the thing. It's not about hitting the goal. It's about chasing the goal. I always use a metaphor about the greyhound racer dog trying to chase the fake rabbit. That's like most of us going through the life. We want to chase the next thing, the car, the status, the money. But the problem is, what happens when you get it? There's just another rabbit to catch. Yeah. Breaking goals or smashing goals isn't about the actual smashing of the goals. It's about who you become. It's the journey. Because just chasing the big goal all the time, it's a huge recipe for burnout. For example, if you want to run a marathon, you don't think about running 26 miles, just over. You think about the first mile, then the next mile after that, then the next mile after that. Because otherwise, you think, oh, fucking hell, I've still got 20 miles to go. If you want to lose 30 pounds, focus on the first 3. Each small win builds belief, what I call strategic confidence. Each small milestone stacks momentum. That's how you go from trying to change, to actually transforming. There's a future version that you haven't met yet. That is not full of excuses, not full of the same bullshit story that you're addicted to. She lives on purpose. And it all starts in the morning because you have control over what you do before life comes and drop kicks you in the face. Now, if you are ready to build a routine that rewires your identity, not just your habits, there is a link below to my next free masterclass, which is next month. It's called Breaking the Cycle. I will be showing you and giving you a framework to take away that will build long-term change, of which I share with my clients. So if you're interested, all the details are in the link below. If not, I'll see you next week. Have an awesome weekend.